Hello everyone. This is the first time I'm ever actually going to do a Friday Reads video, and I don't know. I've seen a few of them, and I can't honestly tell you the difference between like a weekly wrap up or a wrap up, except for like the monthly ones, and the difference between Friday Reads, except you're currently talking about what you're reading. Um, so let's begin. I did finish a book. It was on my TBR for I'm doing a yearly one, and this one I finished was, let's see if we get that in there. A Journal of Sin by Darryl Donaghue. And it was a good book. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. It's been a little bit since I finished it, but I did want to talk about it real quick. I believe it was the author's first work, and I think it's self-published through Amazon, like through the Kindle. It's a mystery novel it's a small town in England, and a Catholic priest gets murdered, and he basically writes this. What people confess into journals, and he has multiple journals of what people confess, but he never really gives any names. And somebody murdered him for what they confessed or what someone else confessed. And Sarah Gladstone, which it's part of a series now called the Sarah Gladstone Thriller, which is the main character of the book. She's a good character. You can tell this is definitely the author's first book because some of the conversations between characters in the book is a little hard to follow at times, just the way it's written. But overall, I did like the series. I did enjoy the storyline. I thought the plotline was very semi figured out and everything. I would recommend it. It's a very light read. It's not very long either. You could probably get it done. If you really follow through, probably in a day. If you read about an hour or two a day, probably within 4 days to a week. I'll probably go on to read the rest of the series and see what happens with Miss Sarah Gladstone. Yeah, I recommend it. Yeah, pretty much, that's pretty much it. It's your typical mystery novel. I kind of figured out like halfway through who the killer might be. But other than that, that's about it for that one. The next one is actually not about a book per se, but a movie I watched on Netflix recently, and I figured I would share that with you. It is based on a book. I committed a sin. I didn't read the book before I watched the movie, but before I watched the movie, I didn't know it was a book. But it's very good, and the movie and the book is about books. I got a random movie poster to show you just to see, that way you can find it. It is called the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. If you've ever watched Downton Abbey, the main actress is the one who plays Rose in Downton Abbey, and I cannot remember the sister's name. And the one sister's on there too, but I'm trying to... like 3 characters who are on Downton Abbey play in this movie. So that was kind of weird, because I honestly really enjoyed Downton Abbey. So to see those 3 characters again, all of them are female. I don't know them by name though. One's Matthew's mother, if you ever watched it, Downton Abbey. One's Matthew's mother, one's Rose. I cannot think of the sister's name. Hold on just a second, I'm going to look this up. So I did look it up, it only took like 10 seconds. It was Sybil. Sybil's the... I don't know the actress's name. I guess I could look it up, but I don't follow actors and actresses that much. But the girl who plays Sybil in Downton Abbey is also in this movie. Basically, it deals a little bit with after World War II, with going back to World War II, with an English island that was invaded by the Germans, and how one night they go out drinking or something, and one event leads to the other, and they have to start this like false book club. But when they start the book club, or the false one, or I don't know if the word false would be the correct term. But anyways, they start the book club and they really get into the literary classics and everything else. And one of the book members forms a friendship, kinda, or starts writing to this one lady who owned a book, who's like, she's an author, but it wasn't the book she wrote that this guy found, but a book she used to own with her name and address in it. So he writes her and said, "Oh, I found your book, blah, blah, blah." They formed friendship. And it kind of goes back between how books played a part in this town's, and these like 5-6 people's lives. Why the ongoings of World War II and the aftermath of which. It is on Netflix, so if you do have it, I highly recommend it. It is a little bit of a longer movie, about like 2 hours and 10 minutes. Don't quote me for sure, but somewhere around that. Highly recommend it if you have nothing to do with this Friday night and feel like watching a movie about books. Recommend. Lastly, the book I'm reading now, I'm about halfway through, Bridge of Clay, which I received for Christmas. Well, not quite halfway through. Close. I didn't like it at first. I almost thought about putting it in my DNR pile. I didn't read, like, do not read pile or whatever. But after the first 50 to 60 pages, when it starts, it's about 5 brothers and more attention focused on the one brother. And basically, he's trying to reconcile with his father, while the other brothers don't want to reconcile with their father. And it goes between his parents' past history from their childhood up to how they met. Very general general description of it. I may actually do a book review for this one, since I feel like it is very it's very good. It started off bad. Like, it was so wordy. And the best description I can think of was, or a metaphor, is like sometimes you can't see the forest for all the trees. Basically, you couldn't get the gist of the story for all the words. But once the parents' story hit, I feel like that's when the book really took off, and I've been a lot more interested in since. It is from Markus Zusak? Yeah, I always feel like I'm mispronouncing names. But anyways, same author as The Book Thief. I really love The Book Thief. Not trying to compare this to The Book Thief, because I kind of feel bad, because since that is such a popular novel, it's kind of hard to follow up something up to that. So I'm taking that into consideration. It's just the first 50 pages or so is very hard to get through. But once you break that barrier, the story takes off pretty well. Yeah. I don't know if I would recommend it yet, like buying it, but if you see it at the library, I'd probably pick it up. I doubt my opinion's going to change on it, but I guess I'll have to see until I finish if my opinion on buying it or not changes. I already received it, and it's something I asked for Christmas of 2018, so I'm glad I got it. I enjoy it. The cover's very pretty. It has a lot of symbols and stuff from the story itself, the typewriter, the statue, which I'm assuming it talks a little bit about Greek mythology in the story. What else in it? The shovel, that's what comes into play. The donkeys play. I don't know if you can see it in the story as well. Do recommend. Maybe library book. I would get it at the library before you would buy it. As of now. Opinion may change soon. I'm not sure. The story's really picking up. I'm really liking where it's going. But anyways, thank you for watching my video. Thank you for, I guess, joining me for my first Friday reads. Hopefully there's more to come. Thank you guys, and if you have the weekend off, good. Hopefully you enjoy your weekend. If you do have to work this weekend, I do understand. I work every other weekend, so I understand the struggle. But anyways, have a nice night, guys, or nice day, nice Friday. Alright, thanks guys, thank you for watching.